days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way, from off-season to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers Cutback.
It's 49ers Cutback podcast time. Welcome to the show, everyone. Hail of the tape, 49ers versus Arizona Cardinals. This is a big divisional matchup. 49ers could improve to 4-1 in the division, and that would be huge. Got to keep up and hang in there with the Seahawks and the Rams over the next several weeks. The Rams and Seahawks are battling it out this week. One of them is going to get their third loss. 49ers need to make sure they're within one game in the loss column to that second place team. And it's all about seeding in the playoffs, but it's all about keeping a opportunity to potentially win the division. It's going to be tough. There's no other way to say it. It's going to be tough, but the 49ers' next 4 games are games that they feel like they have a fighting chance to win, that they should be favored in. And this is an opportunity for them to make a move inside the NFC and in the NFC West, because the Rams and Seahawks have some tough games. But when it comes to the Cardinals, you can't sleep on the Cardinals. The Cardinals, they play the division teams normally tough. Now, last week, it didn't work out so well against Seattle. They are with their backup quarterback, Jacoby Brissett. They are dealing with a plethora of injuries at wide receiver, but it's pretty much sprinkled out throughout their roster. There's a case to be made that they're actually as injured as the 49ers headed in this football game. So it's not going to be one team is more injured than the other. This is an evenly matched. Both teams are dealing with it. You've just got to be able to overcome. And so we're going to go through. We're going to talk about where these teams sit from record to what they do on offense, what they do on defense. We're going to get a nice comparison about how these football teams win. And we're going to go through, and by the end, we're going to have an idea of how this week sets up and where exactly the 49ers and Arizona Cardinals are as far as comparison to each other. What strengths and weaknesses match up for both teams. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're listening on audio platform, 49ers Cutback on Believe Network, please give it a 5-star rating. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel, the title sponsor of 49ers Cutback. So as you can see, you look at the record, and you've got 2 differences here. The 49ers are 2 games over 500 at 6-4, while the Arizona Cardinals are 3 games under 500 at 3-6. And I think the Cardinals are looking at this season now as a season that got away from them. A season that they're probably not going to be able to make the playoffs. They're not going to be able to make anything happen. So it's all about players putting good film out there for opposing other teams, or they're just trying to get things going. And for Jonathan Gannon, he's trying to get a winning culture. That's what it's all about for him. So 2 different positions in the season, but make no mistake, the Arizona Cardinals would love to ruin the 49ers playoff chances by getting a big win at home versus the 49ers on Sunday. You look at the points per game, dead even. Both of these offenses score 22 points per game, and that's impressive. That is a number that's trending up for the 49ers, and for the Cardinals, they're kind of sitting there with just over 22 points per game. So both of these offenses have proven that they can score points, not up there with the elite offenses that are up near 28 points and that category. But we've seen the 49ers steady trend as this offense has gotten better with the additions of George Kittle and healthy Christian McCaffrey. It's amazing how when you add players, your team gets better. When you subtract players, your team struggles, right? You look at the defense, Nick Bosa goes out, that hurts. You lose Fred Warner, that hurts. You lose Yetur Gross-Matos, that hurts. Everything continues to go. Mikael Williams, defense struggling. Offense, you reinsert George Kittle, offense takes a tick up. Jawan Jennings gets more healthy. You get a better left guard. Things trending in the right direction for the offense. So that's kind of where things are. And, Ricky Pearsall potentially coming back, potentially Brock Purdy here in the next couple of weeks. I think it means the offense can continue to trend up. Now, let's look at the injuries, because this is a significant development as the Arizona Cardinals have lost some players just announced today. So we know who the 49ers are dealing with. Brock Purdy, he continues to be limited at practice. That's going to be monitored. Brandon Ayuk, his practice window is not going to be open. Ricky Pearsall, he may practice today. We'll find out in just a little bit whether he practices today. But as of time of recording, I don't know if he's going to practice and be available for the Arizona Cardinals game. My assumption is that he is going to be ready to go and he is going to play in this game. Defensive end Etor Gross-Matos, he's still on the IR. He'll come back, and then we're going to keep an eye on Alfred Collins. He was a scratch for this last game, and so we'll see what happens with Alfred Collins. The 49ers definitely need him to slow down the Arizona Cardinals running attack. But let's look at the Cardinals injuries. You got Kyler Murray. He's out. He's on IR. Means they're going with Jacoby Brissett, which Jacoby Brissett has done a pretty good job. Wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr., the news came through just today that Marvin Harrison Jr. had an appendectomy. He's going to be out for the game versus the 49ers, and it doesn't help with wide receiver room at all because wide receiver Zay Jones is also going to be out with a torn Achilles. He's out for a long time. That's a tough injury. Prayers up for Zay Jones. That's really tough. But look at all the injuries that the Cardinals have. You look at Taylor Demerson, the safety. He's dealing with an injury. He may or may not play. Darius Robinson, the defensive end, he's dealing with a groin. You got Walter Nolan, who's dealing with a knee, and he just came back. There's two young defensive linemen right there, a young safety that helps and plays in certain roles for this defense. They're out. Bam Knight, the running back, he's injured. He's out. Right tackle Jonah Williams, he's been dealing with a shoulder. We'll see if he plays in this game or not. That could be a huge developing factor for the Arizona Cardinals. You look at the linebacker Mack Wilson. He didn't play last week. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Mack Wilson. He was an absolute monster against the 49ers in their first matchup. He played really well in that game. He was pretty much all over the field. If they don't have Mack Wilson, that will be a huge deficit for the Arizona Cardinals, who got to contend with dealing with Christian McCaffrey, which is definitely not easy to do. And then you look at the injury to Will Johnson. He's been in and out of the lineup. We'll see if he's able to go. And then Max Melton, he should be back from his concussion, but don't want to guarantee that. He's still in protocol, but I think the expectation is Max Melton will be able to go this week. But as you can see, lots of injuries for the Arizona Cardinals. Of course, the 49ers have a plethora of injuries as well. Both these teams are beat up. It's a war of attrition in the NFC West and a war of attrition between these two teams, that's for sure. Now, let's look at the offensive yards per game. 49ers averaging 356 yards per game on offense. They have been a team that's been able to move the ball down the field, just consistently move it. Even last week against a very good Los Angeles Rams team, the 49ers were able to move the ball consistently against the number two scoring defense, the number two red zone defense, the number two defense on third down. 49ers were able to consistently move it, and really, if it wasn't for some turnovers, some bad execution on fourth down, they could have easily went for over 30 points in that game. So 49ers have been moving the ball consistently. It's gotten better since George Kittle's back in the lineup. The run game's more effective, and the passing game, definitely George Kittle has helped it take another step forward. That is for sure. You look at the Cardinals, 316 yards per game. That's pretty good, especially with some of the inconsistencies at quarterback. Kyler Murray in and out of the lineup. Jacoby Brissett's played 6 games now, but they've been able to move the ball a little bit too. Not quite where you want to be. You want to be close to 400. Neither of these teams are there in that elite category, but the 49ers over 350 are in the good category. Cardinals a little bit closer to the average category for a NFL offense. You look at rush yards per game, 49ers at 94. Not anywhere where they want to be. They want this number over 130 yards. They'd love it to get to 150. But effectively, they haven't ran the ball consistently. And all you have to do is go back and watch the Rams game, which I've started breaking down over on Patreon. And you can see just from the first half offense, it's lack of execution. The game plan is solid. 49ers had a really good game plan against the Rams, but they can't execute. Offensive linemen missing blocks was a key element to that. And so they've got to be better, especially against Arizona this week. They have to run the ball. They have to win the time possession. They have to be more consistent. That will make them a better offense for sure. And you look at the Cardinals, this is a element they have an advantage over the 49ers. They are better on the ground. Now, they are dealing with the injury at running back. That's going to be one of the key elements in this game. So they're going to go with some backup running backs in this game. It's going to be DeMarcado. It's going to be Michael Carter. Those guys are going to be probably in for Bam Knight, who's dealing with an injury. And you look at the practice squad, they got Jamar Jefferson as well. So he could be elevated as well. So we'll see what happens with Bam Knight. But likelihood is it's going to be a lot of DeMarcado and Michael Carter in this game. for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, let's look at the pass yards. You got the 49ers for 261 yards per game. The Arizona Cardinals with a more modest 202 yards per game. The 49ers passing offense continues to play really well. Mac Jones doing a good job finding his wide receivers, getting the ball, especially last week, to McCaffrey and Kittle, who power the offense the most. Then Jawan Jennings was chipping in. It was a little bit less from Kendrick Bourne and a little bit less from Demarcus Robinson, but this 49ers offense can definitely get it done through the air, and they're kind of in a good situation. You want to be over 250 yards per game through the air. They are over 250 yards, so they're sitting in a very comfortable elite category as a passing offense. And for the Arizona Cardinals, once again, kind of near the average, almost, under 200 yards would be kind of in the below average category for passing offense. They haven't been as effective. And what's this offense going to look like without Marvin Harrison Jr., without Zay Jones? They're going to have Michael Wilson Sr., they're going to have Greg Dortch, they're going to have some guys off the practice squad, but even some of their backups, Simi Fehoko dealing with a little bit of an injury. Is he going to be able to go? He's dealing with an ankle. Xavier Weaver, he's been dealing with an injury as well. So they are beat up at wide receiver, and that probably means a lot of Trey McBride and a lot of Elijah Higgins, two really good pass-catching tight ends who the 49ers are going to have to account for now, because that's how this team is probably going to get it done. Probably a lot of 12 personnel in this game when you look at how this team is built and what they're going to have to do as far as through the air. That is for sure. Now, if you were going to bet on this game, bet with FanDuel. Right now, the San Francisco 49ers are a 3-point favorite on the road at Arizona, and the money line for the 49ers is minus 164. The over-under 47.5. They don't think there's going to be a lot of points in this game. It's still not a bad number. You look at some of the other games. I do expect the 49ers to score some points in this game. I think it's going to be an opportunity for them to get some things done on offense. But yeah, this is going to be a good one to bet on. There's going to be lots of cool player props, same game parlays, all that available if you want to bet and use FanDuel. So let's go ahead and check out the quarterback comparison. You got Mac Jones versus Jacoby Brissett. And like I said, Jacoby Brissett has played 6 games this season. Mac Jones has played all but 2 games, so he's played 8. You look at the completion percentage, Mac Jones, 69.6, had such a good game completion-wise last week. He's near 70% completion rate. That's really, really good. Jacoby Brissett, he's at 60.9, still in the average category. If he falls below 60, that's where you start having problems, but you can see an advantage there for the 49ers if they want to force Jacoby Brissett to third down completions. They have a really good chance of getting off the field because of that completion percentage. It gets more difficult without having those wide receivers that can really help your football team. Yards, 21.51 for Mac Jones, just 11.18 for Jacoby Brissett. That's a big reason why they only have 200 yards per game through the air. Now you look at the touchdowns. Mac Jones with 13, Jacoby Brissett doing a good job, 8 touchdowns, and both these guys are doing a good job taking care of the football. You have a 2-to-1 ratio for Mac Jones, 13 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. And for Jacoby Brissett, a great ratio, 8-to-1. 8 touchdowns to just 1 interception. He takes care of the football, and that's always a key element to being in the mix to win games. Didn't work out last week against Seattle, but for the most part, he's doing a good job, and that's going to make his team competitive. That's what Jonathan Gannon wants, because Jonathan Gannon is a defensive-minded head coach. So he wants defense-first mentality, and one of the things you want from your offense is to control the clock, take care of the ball, focus on the run game, and not turning the football over. Now you look at sacks. Mac Jones has been sacked 16 times, Jacoby Brissett 18. And remember, that's less games for Jacoby Brissett that he's been playing quarterback. This is an opportunity for the 49ers to get Jacoby Brissett, especially because there's an injury to Jonah Williams on the offensive line at right tackle. Now they do have Kelvin Beachum. He could step in. So there's a chance that he's going to be ready to go in this matchup. Maybe Jonah Williams will be out there. We'll monitor it through the week. But this is a situation where Jacoby Brissett gets sacked a lot. The 49ers got to take advantage of it. Both quarterbacks, 97 rating. Mac Jones, 97.4. Jacoby Brissett, 97.1. A lot of that has to go into the touchdown to interception ratio, which both of them do a really good job at. So this is going to be a fun one. And there's always the chance Brock Purdy could be the quarterback, but I think it's more likely right now that it's going to be Mac Jones. But we'll see. If Brock Purdy was going to come back, right, he would love to come back in his native state. of Arizona. Let's look at the third down conversion rate. As the 49ers are at 46%, they keep staying up there as one of the better offenses on third down in the league, even against the Rams. Rams last week, did a really good job, but 49ers were able to consistently get some third down plays made. And so that's going to be one of the keys. And the Cardinals, they're in a good category as well. 44%, that's good. Over 45% is really good. 50% is great. Elite category. 49ers and Cardinals can both get some things done on third down, and that's going to be huge. The team that gets off the field more on third down is going to have a really good chance to win this game. That's why it's always pivotal when you're looking at third downs. Now, you look at the third down conversion percentage allowed. 49ers have been going up and up and up. It hit them a little bit when Bosa went down. It hit them a lot when Fred Warner went down. And they've been steady trending the wrong direction as now they are allowing teams to convert at 40% rate. You want this under 40% to be in the good category. So 49ers are average now. They want to be in the good category. For a long time this season, they were a below 35%, which is the great category. For the Cardinals, they're still sitting in the good category at 38%. That's where the 49ers were last week headed into the Rams game. So this is a trend that is makes you nervous about the 49ers defense is stopping teams on third down. They've got to be able to stop a good Cardinals offense on third down and limit the time of possession and the time that Jacoby Brissett and the Arizona Cardinals offense is on the field. You got to put it in the hands of your offense, and your offense has to stay on the field and use the time of clock and a time of possession and wear down the Arizona Cardinals in this game. Let's look at red zone offense. 49ers red zone offense has made a monster comeback over the last several weeks. They are now at a 60% rate. Remember, in 2023, the 49ers led the NFL in red zone conversions for touchdowns percentage at 68%. They're at 60% now. They have been highly effective inside the red zone recently, and the 49ers need to keep this up. But make no mistake, adding Christian McCaffrey back in this season helped, but getting George Kittle back has really helped this offense take it to the next level. They have been perfect in the red zone more times than not since George Kittle's come back. This is going to be a huge element to this game. Can the 49ers score touchdowns? Whoever scores touchdowns and causes the other team to kick field goals, you're going to get that big win. So this is a huge development. So third down for the defense trending the wrong way. Red zone offense for the 49ers trending the right way, which is huge because they've been moving the ball. Now they just got to capitalize on touchdowns. That's how you'll take this offense to another level. And the Cardinals are sitting in a really good category too. They're in a good category, maybe even close to great. 49ers are great right now. So Cardinals have been effective inside the red zone. You look at defense, Cardinals defense right at the same level, 56%, actually better than the 49ers. They're 13th overall in the league, the Cardinals are. 49ers dropped from 8 to 15 with their performance last week to Los Angeles Rams. So 49ers are sitting in a situation where they could get a lot better inside red zone defense, but we've seen third downs trend the wrong way. Now we're seeing red zone defense trending, still not bad, but trending in the wrong direction. They've got to fix it this week. Play well in the red zone, you hold teams to like 10 points like they did against the Atlanta Falcons. You play bad in the red zone, you give up over 40 like you did to the Rams. So this is just one of those things where you've got to get better inside the red zone. Now let's look at the points allowed per game. Both these teams allow 23 points. The Cardinals 23.9, nearly 24. 49ers at 23. Once again, trending the wrong direction. This was what we were expecting the Fred Warner injury to do. They were giving up 16.9 before the Bosa injury, and that ballooned up to close to 20 at 19.9 with the Bosa injury. And then I said with Fred, it would probably be another 3 to 4, and that's kind of the category we're in right now. And so the 49ers got to start keeping teams out of the end zone, and that's that red zone defense is going to be pivotal in this. And for the Cardinals, this is why they've lost games, right? 49ers and Cardinals are on the wrong side of this thing. They give up more points than they score. You can't have that happen if you're going to be an effective team. You either got to be very good on offense and be able to do just enough on defense or vice versa. And right now, both these teams are kind of in a struggling category. Yards allowed per game. 49ers are allowing 339. Arizona Cardinals allowing 339. We've seen this number consistently trend in the negative direction for the 49ers. They're giving up more and more yards. These teams are staying on the field longer. They're able to put drives together. A lot of that is third down effectiveness, right? As you're not getting off the field, you're giving more opportunities to the opposing team to move the sticks. And for the Cardinals, they're giving up yards as well. So both of these teams kind of in a similar category in how many yards they're giving up per game. Let's look at the pass yards allowed per game. 49ers giving up 228, Cardinals 225. Neither one of these are in a good category. 49ers were great early in the season when they had that pass rush with Bosa and Huff and Gross Matos and Mikael Williams. They were there. 3 of those 4 guys is gone. And with it, it means it's tougher for the 49ers secondary. And I feel like the safeties have struggled a little bit. That's for sure. We've had games where Renardo Green has struggled, or Upton Stout, or last week, De'Amara Lenore struggled a little bit. So this is something the 49ers have to get under wraps. And for the Cardinals, same sort of thing. They have injuries all over the place. Will Johnson been dealing with injuries. Max Melton in and out of the lineup. They haven't found consistency when it comes to the cornerback position. Lots of young guys playing. And so they get picked on a little bit. This is a opportunity for the 49ers, one of the better passing offenses in the league, to go in there and get some things done against the Cardinals' pass defense. Look at rush yards allowed per game. 49ers giving up 110. Not great. It definitely ballooned last week. They were missing Alfred Collins big time. They've got to get this number down close to 100. It's not the end-all, be-all, but if you don't have an elite pass rush, you can't be giving up yards like this. 49ers need to slam the door on the Cardinals' running game. This is going to be one of the key factors. And you see the Cardinals, they give up yards on the ground too. 49ers have to be able to run the ball with Christian McCaffrey. This is a McCaffrey, Brian Robinson, go out there, execute, take opportunities, win the time of possession, and convert touchdowns. That's how they have to do it. But both of these rushing defenses have struggled this year. Now let's look at the turnovers. Giveaways. 49ers 15. One of the worst in the NFL. It's not the worst, but it's definitely in the bottom portion of the league as far as turnovers. You can't keep giving away the football. This thing needs to flip, or the 49ers are going to find themselves on the wrong side of some games that they should win. And so this is going to be a key. The Cardinals in a better category with 10 giveaways. Jacoby Brissett's done a great job taking care of the football. That's helped them a lot, kind of, balance things out. But the 49ers definitely got to get into a good category there. You look at takeaways. Cardinals doing a great job, right? You have 10 giveaways, 13 takeaways, getting their hands on the football. 49ers, no, not so much. It took them a long time to get an interception, and now they just can't consistently get turnovers. One of the reasons they beat the Rams the first time, they created turnovers. This time, nothing. They had opportunity. Ball in the air, Jair Brown can't come down with it. So 49ers right now are inopportunistic in taking advantage of potential turnovers. They just don't have guys making plays. They need turnovers. And right now, the Cardinals have a huge advantage when it comes to creating turnovers. Mac Jones needs to take care of the football against the Arizona Cardinals, and the 49ers need to make sure, just like Juwan Jennings did last week, that he fumbled. Don't fumble. Don't pull the ball on the ground. That's going to be a key in this game, because look at the turnover differential. 49ers are second worst in the NFL when it comes to turnover differential. There's only one team worse than them. This is not the fact that 49ers are 6-4 with these turnover numbers is crazy. That just shows that they've had some key things go the right way at right times, and some of the turnovers were mitigated by the opposing team having turnovers as well or making mistakes. This is a number that can't hold up. 49ers got to get this closer to 0 by the end of the season. They need to play turnover-free football over the next 4 games in this crucial stretch for their football team. You look at the Cardinals, they're at +3. A good place to be in when it comes to turnover differential. That's exactly where you want to be. You want to be in a situation where you're in a plus category and you're doing a really good job of taking care of the football. So here's the tail of the tape. We kind of compared it. You've got some cool matchups, tight ends, right? George Kittle versus Trey McBride. You have 2 backup quarterbacks, Mac Jones versus Jacoby Brissett. You're going to have injuries at wide receiver. 49ers still without Brandon Ayuk. Will Ricky Pearsall be back? I think there's a really good chance he will be. And you look at the Arizona Cardinals, they're missing their 2 top wide receivers. They're having injuries as well. Injuries on injuries, but if the 49ers improve to 7-4 and 4-1 in the division, that'll go a long way in helping their playoff hopes. There's still a 74% chance 49ers make the playoffs, and with this win, it would go up. So this is going to be a pivotal game for the 49ers, and anytime it's divisional, it's big. 49ers need to get a win. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. you're listening audio platform, 49ers Cutback on Believe Network, please give it a 5-star rating. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Until then, stay safe. Remember, the right way is always the 49ers way.